Nowish.
Yes-ish.
Yes-ish. We are so live that we're there. Okay. Before we begin, we're on 18th Street in Pilsen. Punk rock fans, there are probably a lot of you. There are probably some watching right now. Merry Punkin' Christmas is coming to Reggie's on December 7th. Nerf Herder returns to Chicago, the first time in 17 years. Woo! A lot of things have happened since the last time Nerf Herder was here. They'll be at Reggie's, along with Copyrights, Dan Vapid and the Cheats, and Cap Gun Heroes. Proceeds will help provide food and toys for families in need this holiday season. Great cause, Nerf Herder show. Food and toy drive going on there. Please bring a non-perishable food item, maybe a gently used toy. Everyone who contributes will be entered into a raffle for some pretty rad stuff. Again, Merry Punkin' Christmas. It is Nerf Herder at Reggie's on the 7th. Got some fans in the car. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world. MerryPumpkinChristmas.com. Go there.
I grew up listening to all those bands.
Oh, yeah. Without it, Dan Vapid, for sure. All right, so in the car, that right there, that's Stubby from Lucky Boys Confusion and the Hoodie Life.
Hi.
That's Brad from the Hoodie Life. We have food tonight from Casa Indigo in Pilsen. This food smells so good. We've got, you have your name on, when you're Kaustubh Pandav, you get your name on the case.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready to do this?
Yeah, man. Let's do it.
Are you cold? Turn on the cold air, because sometimes it gets a little warm in here. Oh, so yeah, just moved the camera. All better.
Yeah, you're good.
All right, so I want to eat the food because it smells really good. But I want to quickly, as we begin, address the elephant in the room. One of the reasons we're here is to talk about you, Stubby, diagnosed with multiple sclerosis last year. Mm-hmm. Benefit show happening at Bottom Lounge the Saturday before Christmas. MS sucks, and it does.
It does.
We're going to go deep into everything from your diagnosis to how you're living, how you're a musician in a band, to what this benefit's all about. But I want to flash back because we haven't talked about this.
Yeah.
Last December, I hosted a Lucky Boys Confusion show. It was in the south suburbs, somewhere out by Tinley. Maybe it was Orland Park.
Oh, yeah.
It was one of those like Radio Miller Genuine Draft Presents kind of shows. And I was talking with Lucky Boys Confusion before the show. You know, Crier's all sociable. Everyone's being really friendly. You seemed a little standoffish and weird. And all I could think at the time was, is Stubby mad at me? Did I do something? No joke. I thought you were like I did something wrong. I thought you were upset. And then maybe a week or two after the show, you texted. I think you either texted or emailed me saying, "Hey man, sorry, I got a lot going on right now. Sorry we didn't get a chance to talk." Mm-hmm. If my math is correct, not long before that show, you were diagnosed with MS.
Yes.
So when did the diagnosis happen? How did you realize you needed to talk to a doctor?
So for years, in like, I would say 2015 or 2014, 2015 probably, I noticed that some things weren't working right. And, I kept it really private, kept it to my friends. And I got every diagnosis from, you can just imagine, like, oh yeah, something's wrong with you or whatever. But all I know is that, like, I'm not able to move like I used to move. And I was a pretty active human being. I was going to the gym all the time. I used to run all the time. I was just trying to keep myself in shape. And years go by, I went through physical therapy, MAT, which is called muscle activation therapy, deep tissue massage, steroid injections, and more blood tests than anybody can ever think of, man. Seriously. And they're just to the point where, like, I went to New York for something for work. They put me in a commercial. It was such a great time in my life, and I was like, everything's going well, but I couldn't walk more than like 2.5-3 blocks without just my body locking up. And I came back home and I said, this is not whatever. And I remember calling my neurologist, and he's like, well, maybe it's because you're pre-diabetic. I said, I'm not pre-diabetic. I'm barely pre-diabetic. Like, it's like, it's not that. And
you knew there was something.
There's something else going on. And I remember that day when I was on the phone with him, and he's like, well, I'll order an MRI on your brain because that's what you want. But if your insurance company charges you for it because they don't find anything, don't be mad at me. And I said, for $1,000 is a lot of money, but for that peace of mind, it's not. So and then they found lesions.
So for those who don't know, like we all know about MS, we all know what it stands for.
Mm-hmm.
What exactly is multiple sclerosis? Because I'm sure you've learned a lot about it over the past year.
Sure. I obviously did a lot of research once I was diagnosed, and even before I was diagnosed, because I just had a feeling. So the best way to explain what the disease is you look at think about a orange extension cord that everybody has. You plug it in, and it powers your whatever you're looking to power. Imagine that is your nervous system. Now your dog bites the orange part of that extension cord. So now when you're plugging it in for your vacuum, it zip, 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 like it glitches the whole time, because you have a cut in the rubber that's protecting the wire, because inside the wire that's inside is what's really sending the electric signal from your wherever it's starting to wherever it's going. But part of that signal is going out because that myelin sheath or that orange rubber isn't covering it. What happens when people have MS is your body, for some unknown reason, attacks the myelin sheath. So unfortunately, I have a very bad form of MS where my cervical spine, so basically my spinal cord, has a break in the rubber. So
that sounds really painful.
Yeah. Well, it's less. Okay. So why it's painful is because when my hip which is the most affected part of my body right now with the MS, isn't getting the signal right, what my body naturally does is tightens up there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I go through a lot of pain because of it. But the hardest part is that my body doesn't move right. So it's not that the pain isn't as bad as why aren't move with me. It's like come on, move, and it doesn't.
I'm going to ask you a question. This is awkward, but can we eat as we talk about this?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to be disrespectful.
Eat.
Okay. Brad, that means you too.
Food is good.
Again,
that's what we're here. It's Car Con Carne.
Going back to
I don't want to be disrespectful because we have this.
No, man. I mean, this is
what Stubh was saying. We kind of glossed over some of the parts of his diagnosis, like just because he's modest. But he. Thank you. When he was first getting diagnosed with like a bulging disc and like all this other stuff, he was very adamant about, no, that's not it. And it would take like a bunch of tests and then 2-3 weeks. And at the time we were doing Hoodie Life 1 or 2 times a week. Mm-hmm. So I'd get constant updates about what he's doing, and he's just like, something's not right, and I'm not getting these diagnoses, and this person says this person. And if he wasn't tenacious enough to keep going and really demand things, and fight the diagnosis he was getting, he would have never found out probably.
So, Brad, you find out that Kaustubh has MS. Mm-hmm. What was your first response?
Helplessness, kind of. Like it's like, all right, well, there's no like research for a cure yet, and all we need to do is get him the right medicine so it doesn't progress anymore. And I can't hold him in my arms and like baby him and like make him feel better.
You can hold him.
And even if you could, but even if you could, it's not going to make it any better.
Right. So
it's just going to make me feel nicer, which is nice. So like,
honestly, all I tried to do is listen, and that's really all.
That's the key, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. When someone's going through something,
you just want to be heard and understood.
You want to be heard. You want to be understood. And honestly, if somebody in your life has a disease that's what I call one of the top 5s, like cancer, AIDS, MS, ALS, one of those things. By the time they have told you, they have probably processed a lot of what they have to go through. And the thing I can tell you is that just your support is enough. But the thing that people do that is a natural thing to do, James, Brad, everybody, is you just say, well, have you tried? Well, what about this? And it's like, have you tried holistic? Have you tried not holistic? Have you tried
casting a spell?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like,
how's your diet?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, how's your like? That's the first thing. Is like, and people are right. Those things do help. But the thing is, when the person first tells you something that's been really hard for them to tell you in the first place, and you saying, "Have you tried?"
Right.
You probably should just start with, "Wow, man, that sucks."
I think that was my response, wasn't it?
It was. It was literally, your response was, "Wow, man, I think your words were, I don't know what to say." And that is probably the best response you can say, because what that tells the other person is, wow, that person cares about me so much that they don't know what to say. And
you want to say exactly the right thing.
And there's no right thing to say. There just isn't.
Being a fixer isn't really going to fix anything.
Yeah. And being a fixer just annoys the person that's like, because like, you're right. You're 100% right. There's probably things that I can do in my life that will make it better, but none of what you're saying is going to cure it.
Right,
So
exactly right.
So just it was hard enough for me to tell you this. So just let me have this moment,
right?
Without you trying to fix it. Because it's a tough disease to go through, and it's a tough disease to try to tell people about, because it is one of those diseases that a lot of people don't understand. It's not like cancer. Cancer is one of those things that it's like you are. People really do have a better understanding of it because it's out there. A lot of people, But even cancer has a million different kinds, and just like that, MS has a million different kinds. You can have a lesion on the front of your brain that affects your eyes and your vision. You can have a lesion like mine, which is on your cervical cord, that's gonna kill your mobility. So it just depends on what kind of disease you have. Within MS, there's a bunch of different things that could be wrong with you.
Sure.
So
what was hard for me was was remembering that he had it, because we were talking about this before. It took him a while to explain to me that there aren't really visible symptoms, so he might be having a flare-up.
You don't look at Kaustubh and think, he has a disease.
Right.
Yeah.
You think everything's normal, so I'd be at practice or whatever, and it'd be affecting him, and I wouldn't be noticing because I was not seeing any symptoms, but he'd be like, no, I'm tired. I worked all day, and I've been singing these songs, I'm a little worn out, man.
And the hardest thing with that is that you also just, if you're lucky enough to be called, so people like me are called, in the MS community, are called invisibles. But if you aren't invisible
as in undetectable to a civilian.
Yes. Invisible meaning I don't need walkers, I don't need a wheelchair, I don't need a cane. You don't
present as an MS patient. Yeah.
Right. You don't see me as that. And the hardest thing with that, though, sometimes is that, as grateful as I am for that, and I'm grateful as I am for whatever, it's just that it's not that I don't, there's not a moment in my life that I'm not living with this.
Right.
Like, right now, from my knees down, I'm tingling. I'm constantly tingling.
Explain what that feels like. Because when you say that, I think, like when your foot falls asleep or something, you get like the sharp...
It's not... So for people that have it worse than me, it is that.
Okay.
Sometimes late at night, depending on how I sleep, sometimes it's painful. But for the most part, it just feels like... like your arm falling asleep, but not before it hurts. Is what my everything below my knee feels like all the time. And people go, well, what is that? What's that like? And I go, well, what's it like to breathe? It's constant.
Just part of your life.
It's just what I live with. I can't walk far distances. I can't walk more than 3 or 4 blocks.
Well, let me ask the important question. Not important question,
Yeah.
but you're here representing Hoodie Life. We're talking about Lucky Boys Confusion.
Yeah.
What can and can't you do as a front man of a band?
I just do what I can. I never think about it.
I'm sure you thought about it when you were diagnosed. Like, what does that mean for me as a musician?
Kind of. I just was more like, well, I was never the front man that was doing flips on stage anyway. You know, I wasn't the guy, the guy that was trying to. I hope, at least in my 22-year career, that my focus was more on songwriting and singing.
But no, you're a very emotive performer on stage.
So I do I was scared. I talked to the guys about it. I told them about it, obviously, before anybody else. And I was, I just kind of got to a point where I said, guys, this is me now. And they are all like, you do you, man. Like, LBC was the coolest in the world.
It doesn't surprise me at all.
They were super cool on the 20th anniversary.
Yeah, that was before I announced it. Yeah.
How they stopped, or a little bit earlier.
No. 21 show. Sorry, 20th. Yeah. It wasn't 20th anniversary. I didn't know. I knew something was wrong, but I wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
you waited a while to announce.
Yeah.
I knew at the 21 show though. I think. Wait. I really, it's hard to remember, but yeah, I waited. I was diagnosed on Black Friday of last year, and I waited until October 28th of
So
this year.
we are literally 1 year later.
Yeah.
Wow.
In a few days, I'll be a year later. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I do want to take a quick break.
Yeah.
I want to thank our friends at Casa Indigo for the food.
Yes.
Brad, have you had the pork with the pineapple or
That's what I had so far.
The pastor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is fantastic, and we've also got some chorizo fries going on.
Yeah.
As we're talking about this stuff, I do want to acknowledge we are fueled. This is part of the healing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
If we had this a year ago, Stu might have felt a little better about it.
That's not true. That is not true. So, you get the diagnosis. You've been living with this for longer than a year, but knowing what this is for a year. Next month, as we're recording this, the Saturday before Christmas, Bottom Lounge, MS Sucks. You put together a benefit. I'll let you explain this, but before you do, I think it's an extraordinary, wonderful thing that you're doing. You're taking this shitty hand you were dealt and doing something really positive on a more global level. Like, you're taking your diagnosis, what you're living with, and trying to help other people who are dealing with it.
Okay.
And go.
I promise not to cry. But this is my father in me. One of the things my father said to me as he was ready to go was...
And this was very recent, too.
Yeah, it was about 3 years ago, 2 years ago. No, more than 2 years ago. 3 years ago or so. But he said that my dad, I went to his house that he lived in India, and I know this is going to sound so weird to like people living in America, but to keep their house that was made out of dirt up, they had to use cow dung, and they would mix it with water and spread it around the dirt to keep the walls up. And then I grew up in a $400,000 house in Downers Grove. Okay, my dad said something to me, so just saying that, like, he went from like pooing on the street to buying a $500,000 house, or what's relative to a $500,000 house now. He said to me, he's like, we don't give enough back. He's like, I brought all of you, and he brought over not just obviously me and my family, but he brought over all of his brothers, all my mom's brothers and sisters, everybody. And he's like, we came from nothing, and we complain about what we have. So that always stayed with me. Now it's a little bit different in what I'm doing now, but like, I get to walk hopefully for the rest of my life. If I was diagnosed in the 80s, I'd be in a wheelchair. how could I not give back? How can I just sit here and have this platform and at least, and I'm not Billy Corgan, and I'm not Dave Grohl, and I'm not whatever, but I do have a platform that can raise a couple $1,000s. How can I just sit back and just watch people suffer and not at least do my part to try to find a cure? It's not a cure for me. In my lifetime, the money that we raise isn't going to go towards me. If it does, awesome. But it's not about that. It's about, there's going to be a generation after mine, my baby, my little girl, and her generation. I want them to have a cure. So if I can do anything to help people not feel the shitty way I do, why shouldn't I? Should I just sit and feel bad for myself? No, that's not how you live life. This is a society. We're living in a society. If you have the ability to help other people, do it. It's the way I was raised. It's the only way you should live life. We live in a society. We should care about people whose faces we don't know.
I think what you're doing with this fundraiser is great, and you're raising money, and I agree. We as a society will eventually get to a cure, maybe not in our lifetimes.
Yeah, maybe not.
But on another level, I think it's really fucking cool to see you get up, be proactive, and be positive for those people who they're looking for, whether they know it or not, they're looking for an example of how to lead a life with this debilitating illness.
And that was one of the best things that ever happened from this announcement, man. October 28th, I announced. 3 people came out to me since then, and one especially that is probably going to be diagnosed with MS that has been avoiding it. And she's told me that, like, thank you for your announcement. I'm going to my neurologist. I know that I have some symptoms that are like this. I need to go. I said, shit, it could be an autoimmune disease that's curable.
Right.
Like, these are autoimmune disease signs. More than likely, from what she has told me, she has MS. At least from my little experience, she probably does. But hopefully not. Hopefully it's something else and whatever.
But the point is, she needs to take the reins and.
If you have symptoms, if you have, don't ignore symptoms. Don't ignore this stuff, because MS is one of those diseases that you don't get anything back. So if you catch it and you stop it, at least that's the worst it's going to get. So
I have a question for you, Stu.
Yeah.
So when you're going through this process, you and your wife dealt with it alone for a while, and then your close friends, and then some more friends, and you slowly kind of, would you do that same thing again, or would you encourage people to tell everybody right away?
It just depends on the person, I think. The reason I waited so long is not for any other reason that I just knew that I was doing good. So I didn't want to announce a charity show until I knew that I was gonna be okay for it. I would have probably still done something. It might have been different though. I might have been involved in somebody else's charity, but since I'm doing so well, I wanted it to be a piece, being like, he's doing good. Let's look. If I have MS now and I get diagnosed, look at how good Stubby's doing. Like, it was for hope. That's all it was.
I love that. And you turned this around pretty quickly. I mean, for an event like this, you really...
Yeah.
And I think, and based on talking to you and based on what I know, the response and the contributions were a no-brainer from everyone you talked to. Everyone wants to help. Everyone wants to contribute. Everyone knows Kaustubh Pandav.
JVO is my MC. I mean, come on.
True. I really wanted to MC, and I didn't want to overstate my willingness to do it, because unless you had another idea, like maybe I don't know.
No, I didn't have another idea. I just didn't want to ask you for the same reason. I'm like, I don't want to bother him. I am doing that thing though where I'm shaking, so I only have like about 5 minutes before I pee my pants. So
okay,
that has to do with the MS too. Sorry guys.
Obama said no, so we got JV.
Yeah, Obama was gonna do it, but he's like, mask, whatever.
Probably could have got like a Murray brother, or maybe like a,
I don't know,
like a Vince Vaughn or something. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the event before we lose you to the restroom.
Yeah, you have about 5 minutes.
Okay, so
maybe
Bottom Lounge. This is a day and night event.
Yeah.
A fundraiser. So let's talk about what happens during the day.
Okay, so during the day we are going to do a full-on LBC show, playing the hits, like just straight up regular LBC show, except we're going to play during the day. Then if you buy the VIP tickets, there's only maybe I think 50 left, and you get access to the charity show, which is at night, which is going to be about 15 bands playing 2 songs each, and then James MC, and there's going to be one comedy guy up there, and then there's a raffle. But the VIP event gets you upstairs while we're decorating the room to be up there. 350 Brewing is going to provide free beer, and also Dry Hop Brewing is provide beer. Awesome. Casa Indigo, where we're at right now, is going to provide some.
This food is so good.
It's so good, but it's going to be a little different. He's going to do an Indian twinge on it because, I'm Indian. And
since when?
Just since I was born. Oh my God, I'm going to have to pee my pants. But anyway.
Go pee. Brad and I will talk.
But yeah, I will. I just want to finish this. And then along with that, Greg Corner is going to be DJing.
I love Greg Corner.
Yep, and you can talk about that, and I'll be right back. Sorry, guys.
All right, so Kaustubh will be back.
Have to pee.
If you're watching on Facebook Live, we will have him return.
Yeah, so the explanation of this is actually part of his MS. Like, some of the muscles and stuff just get tired, and you gotta go when you gotta go.
So how does that affect the stage performance?
It really hasn't yet. If he needs to jump off stage, like I referenced earlier, but I don't think he knew what I was talking about. There's an LBC show I went to, and they took a break before they were supposed to, and then did an encore, 4 songs instead of 2.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, it was something.
Just kind of readjust.
That happened, yeah, and all the guys, had his back, and normally that would be annoying to a band, but they're like a family, so of course it's no big deal.
Now, from your periphery, watching this happen, seeing the response, what have you seen? Because it seems, from my vantage point, the outpouring of support and just support for Kaustubh and what he's doing has been tremendous. What have you seen, being more on the inside?
I mean, I couldn't imagine. I couldn't believe how many people reshared his post and commented.
Immediately.
Yeah, immediately. And I didn't know there were that many fans of his around, let alone people he knew. People love LBC. I mean, that's just.
Well, they've been in the scene for 20 plus years.
Absolutely, and just the outpouring and the amount of people that really, really genuinely cared. It was fantastic watching him go through all that. It was hard for his family and for everybody involved. And we were feeling selfish that it was hard for us because we knew how hard it was for him.
Right. You have to put it in perspective.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, oh, this isn't hard for me at all. He's actually he's the one who's scared that he might not be able to walk his daughter down the aisle when she gets married,
There's never a good time to get a diagnosis like this, but he has a newborn at home, which that's hard to do if you're feeling 100% 24 hours a day. So he's got a lot going on, and just the spirit he's bringing to all this, I think, is exemplary. I mean, it's really admirable. He's coming back right now. If
there's any plus to it, I've seen a new light in him.
Like a purpose.
Yeah. He's good at a lot of things, but now he gets to be good at this, and really bring a difference. It's really cool.
We're talking about you. So when you
went,
were they watching inside the restaurant?
They'll have the stuff up.
You dick! That's the first time I've been hit by a car in this podcast.
That's
you guys
something else.
I'm gonna go outside now.
Should we talk?
Yeah. Are we done?
No, we'll keep talking.
Okay.
Multiple sclerosis. Discuss.
Well, ask me a question, then I'll keep talking. I'll talk about the show.
Talk about the bands you were playing.
All right, so cool. There's a lot of cool bands playing for the acoustic event. We have, I don't even know. There's so many. We definitely have AM Taxi, Ike Riley, LBC's of course playing White Tees, The Scissors.
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah. Hipster Dick driving a vehicle too big for himself. Dude, do you really need the Highlander?
Yeah, come on, man.
He's probably not even married with kids. He's got this big fucking car. Doesn't know how to drive it in Chicago. Sorry.
Not even the Highlander needs a Highlander.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. There can be only one.
Hey, nice. I like
Dude,
that.
I've got nerd references all night long.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I mean, you know me too. So that's why I like
saving
it.
the rest of this food for my wife.
Yeah, there you go.
That good.
But yeah, we got a whole bunch of acoustic acts, but I do have to say something funny about that. And this is probably the only negative thing I'm gonna say about the whole MS Sucks, Singing for a Cure event is that it's a charity show, man. It's like it's.
Can I get a +4?
Yeah, exactly. It's like
That's the first
like
thing
it's
Steve
just
said
so.
to me.
It's
You're
like
not getting on the guest
you're
list.
not gonna get on the guest list for a charity show. Don't come.
Do you have people asking that?
Oh my God! It's not even just that. It's just like, you get people ask for the guest list, or you get bands that want to play the show because they want to play in front of. Like, this is not the type of show. This is not the right type of show for you to like. Sorry, I'm looking at you instead of in the mic, but like.
This isn't a showcase.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, and then there was bands that had barely played shows, but had their sister had MS or something like that. They got on the show. It had nothing to, like, the bands are background. The point is an event.
They're literally support. They're supporting the cause.
You're like, if this is your. And there's a band like, and I'm not knocking any band because I get it. You want to be professional, and it's like it wasn't the band, it was their manager, and it's like, well, the band needs and we only need a 10 to 15 minute setup time. Like 10 to 15 minute setup time, dude. You got 5 minutes. Grab an acoustic, play a song. Like, sorry, but you're
missing the point.
You're missing the point. Like, and it's like this X band needs, can we bring a drum kit, or like. Listen, like you're missing the point strongly. Like,
and I love what you set up. This kind of on the fly, just musicians making music.
It's supposed to feel like a Barnes and Noble's acoustic set, like it just we're not.
And for those millennials or younger people watching, Barnes and Noble was a bookstore where people would go in. Actually, now it's a toy store.
Yeah, is it?
I think they only sell Funko Pops at this point.
Oh man. It's just like you're missing the point.
100%.
Yeah.
So you were talking about the bands as I was talking to the hipster.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, dude, wear a coat. It's raining and cold outside.
Yeah. Come on.
Stupid hipster.
Yeah.
So Ike Riley's playing.
Yeah. Ike Riley.
Here's the thing about Ike.
I love
one of
Ike.
the more talented songwriters, literally for like 3 decades running in Chicago.
Yeah.
I worry that he doesn't like me.
What?
It's
No
a long
way.
Story. I worked for a radio station that couldn't play him on the radio because it was like a metal station, and he was very
94%. Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, the Zone.
Yeah.
And he didn't really understand not that he didn't understand. He just couldn't believe that I couldn't play him on the radio. But we were playing like Slipknot and stuff.
Yeah.
And I felt really bad, and we haven't talked since then.
Oh, well then now you have a chance.
I know.
Yeah.
So here's another question about liking people.
Yeah.
Do you and Adam Cryer like each other?
This is a funny story.
I hate him.
I'm so glad you asked.
Here's why I ask.
Yeah.
I see you together on stage.
Yeah.
Lucky Boys Confusion shows.
Yeah.
I have not seen you together off stage in probably like 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I love him.
Like even when I do LBC interviews, it's you and not Adam.
Well, it's just because he lives in Naperville. I live in the city, but not to be like whatever. I love Adam, and it's funny because a lot of people think that we don't like each other, and he loves me. we are, but we're brothers.
Yeah.
We don't have to hang out to love each other. We've been together for 22 years. 22 years is longer than most people have done anything in their lives. Adam and I actually had a funny conversation about this, like that people don't think
about
this actually, that like people actually seriously think that we don't like each other, and it's like we don't even like. I don't know what to say to that because it's so stupid. It's just so like yeah. All
right. Well,
now we got it. I'm not supposed to really whatever. But either way, Adam and I are okay, here, let me put it this way. He is the godfather to my daughter.
That says it all.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
All right, so Brad and I were talking about the announcement of your diagnosis and the response you got.
Yeah.
Since you announced you have MS, since you announced this show at Bottom Lounge, what kind of response have you seen? Well, let me rephrase. What kind of response have you seen to the show so far? I mean, have people been just donating money left and right?
Yeah, it's been amazing. It's been amazing. I wish ticket sales were a little higher, but I'm
shocked that they're not. And on that note, get tickets to this event. This is really the last great event of the year, and it's for a good cause. Go ahead.
Thank you, and I appreciate that. But I also think that it's typical that before Thanksgiving that people aren't buying tickets for something for December. That's just the way it usually works. And I'm sure the shows will sell out, and I'm sure they'll be fine. I mean, it's not like it's not like they're far away from it. But I just thought it would just the event alone would just but the thing about it is, man, people have a lot of stuff going on, and that's fine. But yeah, the response has been amazing. I also added a donation link where people could just donate funds, and the ACP Accelerated Cure Project, the charity that I'm working with for the show. By the way, the full thing is 100% a charity that is fully registered, so all the money is going to charity. That was my biggest thing, is like, I am not going to work, and I also wanted to work with a charity that was 100% about research for a cure.
Good.
And all that being said, like, the response back. So I said the first week, I thought, she said, so what do you think you're gonna get? Before she just said, we're announcing today, what do you think we're gonna do the first week? I said, I would be ecstatic with $400 to $600. That first week we made $8,500, and I was like, what?
See, I would have thought the same thing you thought.
Yeah,
I would have thought a couple $100.
Yeah, $400, $500, $600 I was like going to be like, and I even said I won't be disappointed if we don't do that, because I like a couple $100, because it's like, I don't know, I thought most of the money would be raised from the raffle that we haven't even finished like announcing yet, and from the ticket sales, because ticket sales, 100% of the ticket sales from the charity show are going to ACP, and we got this raffle, we got some great prizes, and we'll announce that soon, but I just didn't think it was going to be like this. I didn't think, and then the week after we got another, like, I haven't even checked, because I don't want to know yet right now, but I know that she wrote, the charity, the woman that runs, is working with me when the charity said, the week after, she's like, hey, by the way, we got another $7,500, like, a donation. It's like, wow, it's just, people, whatever political lean you have, whatever social lean you have about whatever you have.
I'm a nihilist.
Well, there you go. Well, even if you're a nihilist, you don't want people to suffer with MS.
Yes.
That's what it seems like, at least.
Here's the thing. Since I switched to this new software that feeds this camera, I can't see who is making what comments, and I don't even see the comments as much as I did before. The only comment I just saw was someone saying, Brad is looking very stoic. Now, that said, maybe
Brad,
you're looking...
Can you sit between the seats and smile?
But here's the thing: we are talking about MS. Like, I'm cognizant of the fact that I'm eating tacos as Kaustubh's talking about his multiple sclerosis diagnosis. But you knew that going in, that there'd be food. Okay. But
I mean, it's Car Con Carne, man.
It's Car Con Carne, and I had to eat some carne.
Yeah, yeah.
One thing you can do too, if you can't go to the show, buy a ticket for somebody that likes music.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, just seeing Tom from the Tees get up there, doing acoustic song.
Yeah, that's cool. Ike Riley, Tom, Adam's gonna do a few songs from Adam and Jason, and Chris are gonna do some songs from Taxi. Adam and I will do some songs from LBC. There'll be Mark Rose from Spitalfield will be playing a few songs. Yep. Who am I forgetting, Brad?
You might do one.
Maybe, if you're lucky.
We'll see.
So there's a chance of a Hoodie Life song.
Maybe.
But this kind of goes to what you're saying. This isn't... You're not booking Riot Fest here. This is a community coming together.
Yeah.
It's just people coming together to help raise money.
That's what it's supposed to be, at least. It's supposed to just be like... kind of like... It's more like, hey, guys, one of the leaders of our scene, at least I think I was, of our scene, is going through some stuff. and we're all getting together, and we're going to do this annually, and we can...
You are going to do this annually?
Annually, absolutely.
Good for
next
you.
year. We're definitely doing it
So you know what
next
that
year.
means? The second you're off stage, you got to start planning next year.
Yeah.
That's how this stuff works.
And I'm already planning next year.
Are you really?
Yeah. I want to do it in 2 different locations, and I want to do one. I want to do I think I want to do a smaller one in Chicago, like a smaller room, just to make it really more like.
Do it in the car.
That'd be pretty
It's about
cool.
as small as it gets.
And I want to do one in Boston, I think.
Why Boston?
The ACP, the charity that I work with, is from Boston, and LBC did really well in Boston, and I think I have a good following out there. And some of the best multiple sclerosis foundations are in Boston. So.
Oh, good. Then absolutely go to Boston.
Yep. So there's a lot of things that I want to do with this, and one of the things my mother said to me is like, how, like, she just, being a caring mother, she's like, how you doing? Everything okay? I'm like, well, no, Mom, it's not okay. But, I mean, like, but...
See, again, this goes back to not knowing what to say. Like,
yeah.
I get why your mom said that.
But I think that more important than Lucky Boys Confusion or Hoodie Life or whatever, I think that this might have been my calling to... raise awareness for multiple sclerosis.
That's what Brad was saying as you were walking to the car.
Yeah.
When you were coming back from tinkling, Brad was saying, like, you've really found a purpose and, like, a reason. And it's interesting how this tremendous adversity kind of engenders this shift in you.
Adversity can either bring out the negative or it can bring out the positive.
It reveals character.
And I wanted to bring out the negative. I did. I wanted to just give up, but my wife was 3 months pregnant when I got diagnosed. I didn't have a choice. Anybody that has a kid understands what I'm saying.
Yep.
I didn't even know my kid. She didn't even have a bump. It didn't matter. It was that it's not about me.
Yeah.
And then when I thought more about me, more about me, my baby, and whatever, I go, it's not about me, or she's a her now, but like. Or her, him, it's about everybody. It's like, it goes back to what my dad said. It's like, we're so wrapped up in us that we forget that there's an us. We are not here. And that's why when people go, well, screw them. Like, I understand what, and again, I'm not getting this, this is not a political statement, so please don't take it like that. What I'm trying to say is that there's more than us. There's more than the people that are in front of you, that look like you, that there's people all over the world that are suffering. And the more we all feel better, the more we all do better. A healthier society means a healthier economy, a healthier vibe that you feel around you. When people are suffering all around you, there's negativity and there's negative vibes whenever you go. Like, let's all do a little bit better to not. I mean, I feel like I sound like a hippie, but it's more just like.
You're right, though. That's what I've noticed about you. You have this aura that you didn't have when you were worrying about everything. Now that you have your diagnosis, now that you have your medicine and you're a little more acquainted with the whole thing, you've just had this energy about you, and it's not about just raising money. It's about helping people go through that process you just went so freshly ago.
And hopefully, the process that I went through, even though it was short, was hell.
Sure.
It was fighting insurance companies.
Hey, let's talk about that for 1 second. Not necessarily the insurance details, because I find that stuff overwhelming, but the cost of having a horrible illness like this. How many meds are you on?
None. I'm on one. I'm on one that's an infusion every 6 months and I'll be done 2021, January 27th.
Wow. Okay.
That's why I fought so hard for it, is that I saw this drug in front of me that I could be done with in 2.5 years versus these other ones that I'd have to...
Hold that thought. I want to read this before... damn it, it went away. Someone just asked if you could say hi to a relative who is going through MS. I'm sorry, I missed the comment. Go ahead.
I wish I knew the name. I would say hi to them.
It's the software, but we can go back when the Facebook Live is published and say hi. So sorry about that.
But I forgot what I was saying.
You were talking about the medicine and.
Yeah, so I want to say, like, it's. Wait, actually, was I saying how I got it, or I forgot what I was saying? Sorry,
I lost track. I totally threw you off.
Through the confusion that took 2.5 years, than the other things that you wouldn't be able to, and then you stopped.
This is why Brad's here.
Yeah, no, like I'm saying, like I went through a lot to. I went through a lot to try to get the drug. I went through a lot to and just to figure out what's going on. If I can help anybody to be like, hey, it's worth. If your doctor says, I don't want to get you an MRI, and you feel there's glitches between what your brain is telling your body to do and what your body is doing, there's a good chance you have an autoimmune disease. And if your doctor says, well, I don't want to order an MRI because I don't want your insurance company not to pay for it, fuck it. It's $1,000 to know that you're okay. And when your insurance company tells you that they're not going to pay for your drug that your doctor tells you should get, do not give up and fall for it. So that's what happens to a lot of MS patients right now, is that their doctor says you should be on Ocrevus, which is what I'm on, Ocrevus, however you pronounce it. And I've been doing fantastic. But every insurance company is going to say, no, try these first, and if that doesn't work, we'll put you on there. Anybody that does a Google search will see that Ocrevus, whatever, does not work as well when you take the other diseases. Other drugs first. Sorry, my bad. Sorry about that. And I did that research, and I fought them tooth and nail. I wrote a letter, and I reached out to this foundation, and I found the $100,000 a year drug for free. There are resources out there for people. Do not listen to people and insurance companies that will not allow you the proper medication that you need.
Mm-hmm. And
find me, write me, and I'll help you. If you have this situation, I seriously will, because we deserve to be treated. We deserve to be taken care of. We don't have a cold. We don't have our toe doesn't hurt. We have multiple sclerosis, one of the worst diseases you can have, and and your insurance company will treat you like a nuisance.
Yeah.
Do not let them do that. Sorry.
That's the takeaway. And sorry, Brad. I do want to say a lot of people have been chiming in. It looks like a lot of people who have MS. And I apologize we can't get to those comments as we're recording the Facebook Live, but those comments will be part of the Facebook Live once it's posted, and I'll respond back to every one of them.
So
thank you for watching and chiming in and listening, and it looks like contributing to the conversation. We do appreciate that. Sorry, go ahead, Brad.
One of the things that Stu actually did that was very, very gutsy was, while waiting to hear from the insurance companies, while waiting to hear if you can get the prescription you wanted, something bad could have happened. I mean, it could have progressed to where all of a sudden his leg doesn't work or something. Am I wrong?
Yeah. I was every night I would wake up and shake my hands and legs every night. Every Friday, my neurologist would call me like, "Did you get approved yet? Did you get approved yet?" And one day I finally asked him, I'm like, "Doc, you're the head of neurology at Northwestern. Do you call all your patients on Friday?" And he just said, "No, I'm really concerned about you."
Jesus.
Yep.
Yeah, that's.
I have a lesion right here on my cervical spine. If it grows even this much to the left, I lose my whole left side. So, he was really nervous.
Yeah.
Sorry, but Brad, you were saying something?
Yeah, I was just saying, like, don't be in that situation, or do. I don't want to tell you what to do, but like, if you're in that situation and you want a better drug, like Stubh did, like, reach out to him. Like, have the.
I'll find a way. I'll help you. And James, you were saying, sir?
I was just saying, after being diagnosed and wrestling with multiple sclerosis, just the added stress of just trying to get the shit you need to move forward, like, that shouldn't even be a burden you have to shoulder.
We pay so much into insurance, and again, not getting political, but like, no matter what we do, whether you guys want to, whether people believe in the private sector or the public sector or the Medicare for all or the Bernie or the Trump, I don't care what you believe in. I don't give a fuck honestly. But if I am paying for insurance, I want to explain something to people that don't understand how insurance works. We all pull in. We all pay in. Every paycheck you pay in, okay? The point of that is insurance, just in case. It's a just in case situation for when 300 of you are paying in for the last 10 years and one Stubby gets sick, you guys all pull in, or one Sarah or one Timothy or whatever gets sick, we all help that person out. But what the insurance company is saying is like, I'm getting $200 from 300 people twice a month for the last 15 years. What if I can get out of helping this guy that has MS out? Like, I can probably get away with it and keep this money. And yeah, that's what happens. We
be your own advocate. Speak up when things aren't right.
Fight. Fight for what you know is right. Seriously.
All right. So looking ahead, Bottom Lounge, just a terrific event. Like, it's an event that'll make you feel good just for contributing to, but just as a music fan, as someone who lives in the city or in the suburbs, what a fun experience.
Yeah.
Just if you're a music
few
fan,
VIP tickets left too. Very few, but like few.
I mean, to be able to see all these musicians in the same room performing. I mean, I'm nerding out just thinking about this lineup and being there for the day.
And just come hang out with all these musicians that are going to all be hanging out in the room.
It's going to be such a chill vibe.
Yeah.
No one's going to be standoff. Everyone's going to be hanging out.
It's going to be the most cool event. You know, again, I'm going to say this. Come for the right reasons, but come. You know, like, it is a great networking event, but, you know, please come for the right reason. But still, the added benefit is you can go up to James Van Osdale, you can go up to Brad, you can go up to me, you can go up to Adam, you can go up to Plain White Tom, you can go up to Ike Riley and have a conversation, because everybody's going to be in a non-rock star.
That's just it.
Yeah, it's a charity event where everybody wants to talk to each other, everybody wants to hear about it. And if you got MS and you don't want to make it a thing, and you just want to talk to somebody about it, there are going to be like 100 other people with MS there that you can just start a conversation with. Come up to me, talk to me. Seriously, I know I've been told before that I wasn't the most approachable guy in the world. Trust me. If you come up to me and go, hey, I've been struggling with MS, can I talk to you? You know, the probably the worst thing I'm going to go is, can I grab a beer first? You know, like that's the worst it's gonna get. Yeah. So
that's accurate.
Yeah,
that's totally accurate.
Or come with me to get a beer for. Okay. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's walk over to the bar real quick. All right. So that's happening. Get your tickets to that. You know, we could probably talk about this for another hour or so, but I think I think we really hit the points. I'm proud of you for what you're doing.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you for putting yourself out there and really turning this shitty situation into something that is positive and hopefully in turn inspiring to other people.
I hope so. And I hope that if anybody's hearing this and is struggling, that they realize that they can reach out to me. So
bottom line. All right. So the website, just go to the Bottom Lounge site. Is it on the LBC
Bottom
site?
Lounge or Facebook.com, Singing for a Cure. Everything's Singing for a Cure. So it can be singingforacure.org or Facebook.singingforacure. Or the Lucky Boys page, or the Hoodie Life page, or the Stubby page, whatever.
Yeah. And then, like we said, I'm emceeing. I don't have to wear a black tie for this, right?
You don't have to wear anything. You can be naked.
Anything but a plain white tee.
God,
it's already covered. All right, so I'm going to be casual.
Yeah.
You're not going to come out. Are you wearing a suit?
I'm going to wear a suit.
Are you?
I think so.
Yeah,
I'm not
it's your
sure.
event.
Yeah, it's my event.
Brad, you're not dressing up, are you?
No, I'm going to wear a hoodie.
You can't fit into a suit anymore.
I can't fit.
All right, so Brad, you're my people that night.
Too much good food.
He was only married a year ago and still can't fit in this suit.
All right.
He really let himself go real fast.
Brad, thank you for stoically holding up the backseat.
Thank you, guys.
I want to thank Casa Indigo.
Yes.
Yeah. Great food.
This food.
Yeah.
That pastor taco was great, and then there was a steak taco in there too. Gee, he snuck that in there.
Dude, he's the man.
He is the man. Super friendly place. I mean, it's right on 18th where everything is.
Yep.
In Pilsen. Maybe if you're going to the Thalia Hall show, this is like a block away from there. Stop on by. Kaustubh from Lucky Boys Confusion, Hoodie Life, everything. Nobly, bravely bringing awareness to this awful, shitty illness. Before we go, I do also want to mention Nerf Herder playing on the 7th at Reggie's. That is Merry Pumpkin Christmas.
Danny Vapid.
Danny Vapid in the cheats.
Yeah.
I had Dan Vapid in the cheats in my car a couple weeks ago.
No way.
That was a trip.
That's crazy.
And I had like 10
Oh,
minutes.
yeah! Yes, I saw that one.
I had like 10 minutes with him, and I wanted to get to all my questions. But before I lost him, I'm like, tell me about the Screeching Weasel show in Austin. I wanted to get that out of the way. Because that's where the wheels came
the
off.
big one, yeah.
That was the one.
I wouldn't be in a band without those guys.
I gotta
Really?
pee.
Yeah.
I gotta go again.
All right, Stubby's got to pee. Thank you for watching on Facebook Live. Thank you for listening, and we're going to turn this off.
See you guys.